I wish I could do like the Braveheart freedom, scream like freedom, but no. Y'all be like, this is not good. The Corinthians they weren't asking who should I marry, they started asking the question, which I got all the time as a youth pastor, all the time. What am I allowed to do? What am I allowed to do? Now that I'm a Christian, I can't go and do all the stuff. Like, I can't do the booze cruising. I can't do smoking weed. I can't be drinking. I can't be doing this. What can I do? That doesn't sound like fun at all. Youth pastor, that was a great time. 14-year-old saying, there's nothing to do. There's nothing good. You just read my Bible all day? Literally, that's all they would do. And I say the question, what are my freedoms? And I think, honestly, most of our adults, as adults, I don't think it's very much different. I think we ask the same question. What are my freedoms? What am I allowed to do? Any parents got asked by your teenagers, so what am I allowed to do? Any of you? Have they ever been asked that? Like, hey, so what am I allowed to do? Man, this is like prison around here. A lot of times, everyone thinks that when it comes to Christianity. You think that because, oh, by the way, oh man, now that I'm a Christian, now I'm boring. No, sorry, buddy. I remember being this way in high school. Some of my friends sometimes would ask me like, hey, DJ, so you don't do this? They would ask me on the bus rides, because bus rides is where the most ministry needs to happen. So for sure. But you're on the bus and we're on the way to a football game, and and buddies are asking me because, I was known as church boy, and so like, DJ, so are you allowed to do this? Or are you allowed to do that? And I'm like, well, no, why would I do that? And they're like, well, it's not so much fun. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't really have an argument. I'm like, yeah, I guess, but if sinning was terrible and didn't feel good, we probably wouldn't do it. But because we have the freedom to do what we want, and there's a thing called sin, and it is fun for a time until it latches its claws on you, and then before you know it, you're in a life of addiction and loss and brokenness and loneliness. And it's interesting how that happens. Think about like sugar, right? We love candy. We love sweets. But what happens when you eat too much? Tummy ache. Same thing happens in our relationship with God. Sometimes we just get the sweetness of God, but we don't actually understand the richness of God. That he's not just a sweet treat, that he is the substance of life. He is life in itself. And we never leave empty. And so what do? We go after a lot of times spiritual highs. That's why we see a lot of people go and they receive Jesus and like, yeah, I want to surrender to my life to Jesus because it feels so good. But then we get into this crossroads where it's like, okay, I now have to release